to introduce our second speaker. From a family of 6 in one bedroom in public housing, being an introverted, aspiring baseball player with scholarships to high school and college, sleeping in classes and wandering aimlessly after a broken hand shattered in his dreams. Now being the most excited in a classroom setting and graduating with his bachelor's in finance and investments, please welcome Anderson Mateo.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me. So as you see, I've been through some struggles in my life, but most importantly, I'm here now, and there have been some things that have been really key that I've found that has helped me through the times of struggle, but has also propelled me past obstacles and where I am today and going where I'm going. So the 4 main things that I want to talk to you today about is emotional intelligence, 4 stages of learning, about using systems, like working systems, and also about your mindset. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is about emotional intelligence. So there's 4 aspects of emotional intelligence. First is self-awareness. And self-awareness is essentially awareness of self. You're understanding exactly how you feel when you're doing something, or why you're doing something, and what emotion is driving that. It's interesting because in academia, for the most part, we are constantly advocating a certain mental process, right? Like if we're talking about mental prowess, or constantly focusing on studying, or continuously doing this one thing that involves this mental thing. But whether we know it or not, there's an emotion driving that, right? Motivation, whether you're motivated or not to do something. And self-awareness essentially tells you what you're doing and what you're feeling and where's that coming from, whether you're doing something you don't want to do or you're doing something you do want to do. And it's always vital to identify why you're doing something and the emotion that's driving it. The second part of that is self-management or emotional management. And essentially that's exactly what I've been talking about with self-awareness, which moves perfectly into self-management, right? So when you have a self-management, again, it's something that's driving your activity, your behavior, whether you're coming to school, there's a reason for that. Maybe when you were younger, maybe things weren't certain for you. Or you want to get to a certain level because you enjoy comfort in something. Or maybe you have something that you feel uncomfortable with. Right now, honestly, I feel a little bit nervous because it's the first time I'm doing this. But it's okay, right? And it's important to identify that. The second thing, but I'm up here because emotionally I've been through certain things, and what's driving my emotion now is to share those things with you guys in hopes that it can help you. The third thing is it's self-awareness, emotional management, and then there is social awareness. Social awareness is about the emotion in the room, so to speak, right? If there's an elephant in the room, you feel that. If there's something like, if you're in the principal's office, you feel that. There's like a feel with it. Another example is you probably wouldn't wear a hat and like those like cut off t-shirts in a professional setting, right? That probably would be like more appropriate at a gym or something like that, not necessarily inside of a corporate office. So it's really important to understand the emotion in the room as well. When you're going on an interview, when you're speaking with your colleagues, it's really important to be able to, so to speak, vibe with that. Because if you don't, you might do or say something that's pretty inappropriate. And these are all skills that you can work on every day. The last part of that is relationship management. Relationship management is essentially about creating relationships, but creating win-win relationships. And what that means is respecting other people's boundaries and being able to set boundaries for yourself as well. I kind of got into a little thing where I sometimes used to overextend myself a little bit too much, or being just really nice. I would not be okay with like kind of setting boundaries and saying this is not okay or that is not okay, and I'll just kind of try to avoid it. But it's important to understand your limits, your boundaries, and also respect other people's boundaries. And that's what relationship management really is about. My next topic is about the 4 stages of learning. 4 stages of learning is, first, there's unconscious incompetence. It's where you don't know what you don't know. So literally the first stage of learning is failing, right? But we have this weird relationship with failing. Like we get nervous about it or whatever the case is. But in the end, that's an essential step for us to go through in order for us to be able to identify what we don't know, right? If we know that we don't know something at that point, which is the second step, which I'll get to in a little bit, now we can make some sort of change, and we have a starting point. The next place is conscious incompetence. Now you know what you don't know. If you're in a car, you know maybe your left turns need some work, or maybe the right turn. Maybe you don't know how to apply the gas. But if you never got in that car, you'd never know what you didn't know about it. You wouldn't know what you needed to work on. But most importantly, you wouldn't identify your strengths for you to work with to get past those weaknesses that you'd have. The next part of it is conscious competence. You're driving, but you can't really sip coffee yet. Like, nobody recommends this. You can't text, but people still do it. You could barely even have a conversation, so you have to like always drive with two hands, look forward, and that's what conscious competence is like. You know how to do the task, but it takes so much energy for you to do it every day or whatever it is. Whether you just learned a new math skill, you know how to get through each step, whether it's calculus or pre-cal, you know how to get through each step, but for some reason you're missing like little numbers in here. You know the process, but you know every time you check back, it's like 1 is missing or like a negative sign or a positive sign. Then the next part is unconscious competence. That's when you're doing something and you've done it for so long that you just feel so confident and comfortable doing it. You don't even realize you're doing it. And that's something that we do every day, as simple as walking. Right? We learned how to walk someday. When you look at a baby, it's like getting up and it's falling down, but after a while we could just do it, and we could even step up or jump up on something without even thinking about it. And that is how we learn. And in each step, it's still important to have that emotional intelligence for you to feel and be able to identify how you feel at each stage, but also use your emotions for your benefit to get through it. The next one is about working systems. So when you have systems, you're able to get through things efficiently. For example, my system for when I'm a little bit tired is I probably drink a cup of coffee. That's it, right? I have a working system. So I know that if I'm a little bit tired, that's feedback for me that I just need to drink a little bit of coffee. Or if something's not going well, I know maybe I need something or I don't need something. I need to stop doing something. And that's what working systems is about. And the last thing is about mindsets, about working with positive mindsets. Right? It doesn't mean that if I'm going through really hard things or tough times, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to be overly enthusiastic and jumping around every single time disingenuinely, but it's about genuinely looking at the positives and being grateful for the positive at the current moment. If I constantly look at the negatives in a current moment and I blow that thing up, it's going to be my reality. But if I'm looking at the positives and I'm blowing that up, that's going to be my reality. And once you do that, you're able to move forward through whatever it is that you're going through. So failure is really feedback, or stumbling blocks, they're really starting points. And there's faith, there's power in faith as well. So I hope that if you've gotten anything from this, it's something that you can take with you at your jobs or throughout the rest of the year or whatever else you guys do, and just continue to be great. Thank you.